What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video, and without wasting any time, we're going to go over an actual somewhat debatable topic: GvK Kong versus Skar King. Now, I've really wanted to go over this topic to explain why, on my take, Skar King would actually win this matchup, considering I've seen people actually think that GvK Kong would slaughter Skar King with no difficulty. Now, what are the main arguments that people use to put GvK Kong above Skar King? Mostly it's due to the aging argument, saying that with Kong, as he ages, he gets weaker, when there's two things wrong with that. Firstly, on-screen feats show the exact opposite, and if you're trying to use aging, then presumably a base or Kingdom Kong would be stronger than Beast Glove Kong, which is utterly false, and that would just entirely disprove the entire claim of the age argument. Let's start with GvK Kong. First, he has a horrible lifestyle compared to GXK or Kingdom Kong. Everything is slow for him, not everything is the same for him. He has aches of pain all over his body.
Has little aches and pains here and there,
which would make him weakened and or out of shape. He's been on the dome for Skull Island for presumably 3 or more years, which would make it so he wouldn't have gotten the proper exercise or food he would have needed to be in healthy condition. Also, the fact that GXK Kong is not older than GvK Kong at all to any degree. The main reason he aged so much from Kingdom Kong to Godzilla vs. Kong was due to the storm on Skull Island. Since he is out of that storm, he's no longer aging so fast, and is presumably living his immortal lifestyle, since Kong's parents lived on Skull Island for millions of years and still look the same. Now, since I've basically covered how GvK Kong is massively more weaker than GXK Kong, you would think that since Evolved Godzilla is 4 times his base in every physical stat and more durable, that you would think that the Beast Glove Amp is the same multiplier. Sadly, it is not. Now, in order for the stats for Kong and Godzilla to be equal to the point where one does not one-shot the other, and it's basically the same outcome of Hong Kong round 3, GvK Kong would need to be 2 times below base GXK Kong in order for their stats to be equilibrium to the point where it's the same as Hong Kong round 3. Now, why is this important, you may ask? Now, the reason this is important to the conversation is that GvK Kong would be 2 times below base GXK Kong in every physical stat. Now, this is important because Skar, with the whip, can contend with this much stronger Kong and even keep up with the 2 times amped Beast Glove Kong as well, which would put him 2 times faster than base GXK Kong or 4 times faster than base GvK Kong. So, in short summary, GvK Kong is below and massively below GXK Kong via having a horrid lifestyle, not having the proper exercise nor food, and obviously just being way more weaker. Now, this will be important for Skar King's section of the video. Now, for GXK Kong to be above GvK Kong, there is one simple fact. GXK Kong has a way better lifestyle. This is proven via the fact that he has a way larger environment to roam around in, and the fact he would need to have more food and more exercise to be in better shape. This is proven as he has a much better build and much better environment than previously what he had on Skull Island. Remember how I said that Skar King is 4 times faster than GvK Kong? Yeah, this is where his most important factor comes in for the fight. Speed blitzing him. Now, you might say that Skar King doesn't have the AP to hurt Kong. He kind of should. None of Beast Glove Kong's attacks, which a 2 times buffed Kong, by the way, could even dent Skar King besides a tooth knockout, which is impressive via the fact that even though the novelization says that GvK or GxK Kong would have killed Skar King, this is disproven, as a 2 times buffed Beast Glove Kong should have been able to kill Skar King when he could not. Nothing Beast Glove Kong did killed Skar King, and the only thing, or the only side effect happened, was a tooth knockout. This is important because a 6 times stronger Kong not even being able to dent Skar King means that nothing GvK Kong will do outside of the axe will even dent or nor hurt Skar. Also, the whip kind of just like shreds through Kong's skin, which a 2 times more durable Kong gets shredded by the whip. That means that GvK Kong would utterly get slashed and shredded by the whip. Now, the reason this is important, because as I've established, Skar is way more faster than GvK Kong could ever hope for, which means he would get more of the hits in, which means he would draw blood faster than GvK Kong could ever do, and ultimately would lead to him winning. Is GvK Kong stronger than Skar King? Yes. Is he going to lose horrifically? Yes. And would Skar King speed blitz him? Yes, he would. Now, another added fact that Skar would have the AP to harm this Kong is that his physical attacks kind of just like make Kong bleed from the gums, which honestly wouldn't be impressive, but since it's a 2 times more stronger Kong, it would mean that Skar would be able to make GxK or GvK Kong bleed 2 times faster. So what am I trying to say? I'm saying that even with the physical advantage over Skar, he would still ultimately lose to Skar King due to 1, the AP advantage, the Dura advantage, the intelligence and skill advantage, and the speed gap, which would ultimately lead to Skar King blitzing GvK Kong and winning against Kong as well. The axe is a non-factor, as Skar already is shown to be able to disarm a 2 times stronger Kong, even when he is utterly bloodlusted in trying to kill Skar by any means. The only way that GvK Kong could anyway win is via the axe, which a well-placed strike to any part of Skar would like slice through him like butter, which probably is never happening due to the speed gap, which again I've already established, and that Skar would probably just blitz GvK Kong into oblivion and kill him with the whip. So when it comes down to a straight 1v1 between the two, it starts off with Kong seeing Skar King, and then Skar King doing what he did to Suko's caretaker, kicking him into the lava. What happens is that Skar sees Kong charging towards him, utterly bloodlusted and trying to kill him. Kong, or Skar, dodges and weaves out of the way. Then, since Kong, or GvK Kong, is 2 times slower than GxK Kong, he would try to strike Skar King, but before he would know it, Skar King is already behind him and slashing through him with the whip. This would be important, as not only would Kong would not even be able to tag Skar King, but then Skar King would ultimately blitz him, as the massive speed gap would already guarantee Skar winning. Since I've kind of just proven how Skar has the AP to harm this Kong and would kind of just like speed blitz him, it wouldn't be a debate that Skar would probably like low diff GvK Kong or just mid diff him via the speed, AP, skill, and durability advantage. Now, since I've covered him being above GvK Kong, the only downside is that since Kong has adaptive capabilities, would he be able to tag Skar King or defeat him? The simple answer is no. Even while being very adaptive with skill, he is still 2 times slower than GvK Kong and 2 times weaker than GvK Kong. Even if you argue that Kong, with his adaptive capabilities, would be able to learn Skar's fighting style, this wouldn't happen as the same rate as GxK Kong. He would adapt 2 times slower than GxK Kong. He would learn Skar's skill 2 times slower than what he did in GxK, which would ultimately result in the fight ending quicker and Kong not learning Skar's style before the fight literally ends, before he could ever do that. So yeah, pretty anticlimactic. Skar would win this fight mid-difficulty. The gap between them isn't as far as one might think, but Kong would not go down without a fight, but Skar would ultimately win against Kong, and probably kill him with the whip. Now, if it were GxK Kong, he would probably just win against Skar King, as he learns 2 times quicker, and he adapts 2 times quicker, which is shown in the film as well. Even if he doesn't have the AP to kill Skar King, well-placed strike with the axe would probably just kill Skar King with 1 hit. So yeah, that's kind of it for the video. I don't really need to go more in depth into this, besides that Skar would win against GvK Kong, but lose against GxK Kong. He is relative to GxK Kong, but there is downsides to his relativity, and he would ultimately lose to GxK Kong via his adaptive capabilities. Skar King is not that weak, even though he is.